Okay, this is probably my last trading day before Christmas, and we are looking at at closing yesterday. It had a big drop. In fact, it was probably the biggest drop, I think they said, for 3 months. So that just tells me that there's a lot of uncertainty about why it's up so high. There's not a lot of good reason to think that it should be up there. So if people are jumping on board that quickly and getting out, I mean, it could be because it's just before Christmas, everybody's getting out of positions over the holidays. I'm not sure what the reason is, but anyway, it's the fear of it going up any further is not real high. I think we've kind of met a limit. Remember, this red line was the peak that it's hasn't been to since 2021. So we did go over that, and it acted as a support right here for a little while. But so that's kind of the background there. All right, so all that being said, we can see now at 8:39 this morning that it did take a little bit of a jump up there. I don't know how high it's going to go. It's possible it would get up to this level here. It could go all the way up to the red line. I'm not really sure. The shortest term chart, though, it looks like it could dip down. The MACD is looking like it's going to turn over. So I also wanted you to note the 3-year chart over here, just to kind of remind us where we are in the grand scheme of things. This is the last 2 years of information. This is 2021, January. Okay. All right, and then I switched to the 4-hour chart over here, and we can see that that big drop brought us right down to the gold SMA. So it did hit support and bounced off of that. That's very interesting. And it is continuing to go up, possibly to that blue line there. The MACD has now crossed on the short-term chart, and even though it has gotten, well, all right, there's reason to believe that it might drop from this point. I'm still thinking, though, that I should be in a long. Now looking back on the chart, I'm not so sure anymore, but kind of waiting for a good long position here, because it is, I guess, my thinking is, I guess it is uptrending on the short term here. So I think it could probably get up a little bit further, and I want to ride that last little leg because it's enough for me to trade on. Still waiting, looking for that MACD to make a nice little turn, and it did drop down a bit more. Okay, it's almost at support right here. And I decided the way it was acting right there, you can't see it on this screenshot, but it just kind of like didn't want to go down any farther than that. You can see the red line bounced, the red candle there didn't go below it, and then we had a green candle, and it's just kind of hovering there. And a bunch of orders are changing hands right there. So that's usually a good sign that it's going to bounce at that point. So I got in along, and I adjusted my limit order to be at that blue SMA up here, and my stop is just below the gold SMA here. And it did go up, and it went up even further, and I raised up my stop. May have raised it a little bit too close, and I did get stopped out, but yeah, I made a little bit of a profit, not as much as I was hoping, but at least it was some. I'm still thinking that it's going to go up. So it bounced off of that line again, and I went ahead and got in another long position there. Put my limit order in the same place. You can see I've changed to the 5-minute chart over here now. Okay. And it just does not seem to want to go up. Still kind of hovering there. MACD is looking good though, so I'm not too worried. And I went ahead and canceled my stop. It slipped down right here, but sometimes that just knocks out a bunch of orders, and then it will go on up. So that's my hope at this point. There is concern over here that it could drop down to that point, and we have good reason to think so on these two charts. Kind of worried, but lot of tension. It just seems to want to be going flat. Just not going anywhere. All right, at this point, I pretty much determined, yeah, I think I was in the wrong place. I changed my mind. I think it's gonna drop. But since the MACD is still looking good here, we might just have a little bit of a short burst upwards. I just don't think it's gonna go quite as far as I thought. So it's interesting to note that the 5-minute chart over here, the MACD is looking like it's tipping over going down versus the 1,000 tick chart here looks like it's going up. So they're completely at odds. I'm not sure which one is going to win out, but I really didn't want to risk it too much. And I kind of think for the immediate future, I think it's going to go down. So I went ahead and switched to a short position. And I'm at an $87.50 loss, which isn't bad at all. I can easily recover that as long as the thing didn't get out of hand. Went ahead and put in my exit order at a fairly conservative spot, but yet that's a pretty big trade. And it does seem to be wanting to drop. Opening bells in 1.5 minutes. It's still just kind of hovering there. It did have a little burst upwards. Kind of petered out. Pretty well flat. All right, we're after opening bell here, and it just doesn't seem to want to be going anywhere. Okay, I put in my exit order here, and it dropped down almost to that point, but it didn't take it. And then it jumped up, and actually I'm in a loss of 475 right now. So even though this looks like a short leg, that's a pretty big amount of money. And still hanging on. I don't have a stop order in place to protect myself, but I'm not too worried that it's going to go up so far. Just kind of watching it. It's pretty well flat. So even though this is acting as support, the two lines are getting closer and closer together. I just kind of think we're looking at a squeeze kind of a situation here, and I think it might drop. All right, I went ahead and drew in a pennant pattern on the trend lines here to kind of show how we're getting squeezed into this nose here. And I'm not sure, it could be either one. It could go above it, it could go below it. I'm not really sure where it's going right at the moment. I'm leaning more towards it going down. This is slightly concerning here. It actually broke through the top of it, and it hovered there for a long, long time. And then it dropped through the bottom of it and drops through some more. So now I'm back at where I got in. So I'm feeling good about that. And also the fact that I am in a short position, and it does look like it's truly going to continue down further. A little bit of a rise up there, not too worried yet. It hit a resistance level. The lines have crossed now, and it truly is dropping and dropping. And I believe I got out. Yes, I changed this to a market position because I wanted to just get out right there. So that's good. And that last position got me $112.50. And then I thought, well, at this point, I think it's going to go up. So I went ahead and got into a long position thinking that it might ride it. I could ride it up to this point. But it did drop down further. So I lost all my profit on that trade. Very tricky trading day today. Okay, and you can see we're at support here, almost. Well, almost. And then almost at support here. So I went ahead and put in an alert right there. I would be pretty worried if it dropped below that point. Lowered my expectations here. Brought them back up. All right, and then it went above where I'd gotten in, and so I went ahead and placed a market order because I just wanted to get out right there. And got out at a $250 profit and decided I was done trading for the day. It is 10:14 and it's just kind of a tricky day. So anyway, that'll probably be, like I said, the last time I trade before Christmas. And so we'll see what January looks like.